Hey guys, it's Jay. Thanks for coming onto my channel. Today is actually a very special day for me because 30 years ago today, November the 30th, I was born. So yay! Yeah, it's my birthday today. Tell them it's my birthday. And I would like to think that I've learned a couple of things along the way. So I compiled a list. I've been compiling a list for the past week and a half so I can make this video. 30 things that I learned by the time I was 30. So if you are interested in knowing what I found out, then just keep watching. Number one on my list is pay now or pay later. So it really doesn't matter what it is. I always use this example with my son, like a stapler. Let's say you just need a stapler right now to staple some papers that you have to turn in for school. So you can go to the Dollar Tree and pay $1 and you can probably get about 20 good uses out of it, but more likely than not it's going to at some point jam up on you, it's going to break, it's, you know. So if you're going to be using something for long term, you know, it's probably best if you invested those $8–9 into a good stapler as opposed to just something quick, because at some point, whether you want to or not, you're going to either pay now or pay later. We also use this for like medical bills right now that we had to go pay for my doctor. They have a choice where you can pay everything up front or you can pay for it at the end of the pregnancy, but you're gonna pay regardless. One way or the other, you're gonna pay. So pay now or pay later, and that pretty much applies to everything. The next thing that I learned, or again, number 2 is forgive others for yourself. Now as a kid, I heard this, but I didn't get it. Like it didn't enter my spirit until about, I don't know, let's say a couple years ago. I finally understood what forgive them for yourself means. Don't forgive them because they deserve it. Don't forgive them because you have that power over them. Because at the end of the day, when somebody hurts you, sometimes they'll feel bad about it, but sometimes they'll kind of just forget it. You're the one that's going to have that on your heart. It's going to have it on your mind. It's going to be bothering you. So forgive people for you. Forgive them for yourself. And so I learned that. Like again, like I tell my son now, and I know he doesn't get it. And I tell him I didn't get it either. But when I finally had to forgive people for me, when I learned that that's why you forgive, it kind of changed. It changed a lot of things in my life. Number 3. Another thing that I learned in life is some people will find any reason to be offended. They will look for reasons to be offended. You can't do anything about it. They just want to be offended, and they're going to be nitpicking at whatever you say, however you meant it, so that they can be offended and be the victim. 4. In many situations, there's always going to be a bad guy. There's always going to be a bad guy. And it took me a while, it took me years to freaking realize, you know what? If you want to make me out to be the bad guy, I'm okay with playing that role. Like if you want to put the blame on me, if you want to say it's my fault, I'm okay. I can take that role. Because at the end of the day, I know who I am. Number 5. Convenience is a bitch. And I've learned, and I know this is a saying, but I've actually learned it myself. Walgreens is like down the street from my house, and sometimes, so that I don't have to actually put on a decent face, so I don't have to walk to the back of the store where the dairy is, I'll just go right here quickly, pay $2 or $3 extra to get it. Convenience is a bitch. Whenever you're running behind to order your passport on time, but you need it still, you're gonna pay that extra because you need it fast. Just like valet parking. So sometimes it's free, but other times like that, at least when I mean, it's always nice to leave a tip. Convenience is a bitch. So for things that are convenient, sometimes you got to pay for them, whether it be monetarily or otherwise. That's one thing that I learned. Number 6, being a functional addict or living as a functional addict isn't really living. And I don't think that functional addict truly exists, because you can try to think that you got it. You can try to think that you're living your life and you're still working and you're going to school, but always you're going to be wondering, okay, when can I get my next whatever, my next hit, my next bump, my next this, my next that. So while you can continue to work and stuff, your life is going to be surrounded or revolving around the clock, watching to see when's the next time you can do it. And I tried to fool myself, not now you guys, but I did try to fool myself, and it doesn't happen. There's no such thing as a functional addict. You're an addict and you're an addict. And so I hope you can get help if you are struggling with anything. I know I have before, a couple times. And there is no such thing as a functional addict. You're just an addict, and you like probably have better work ethics than people who are just straight up on the street addicts or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that either, but there is no such thing as a functional addict. Like, you're still tied and you still have those freaking, what are those called? Like you're still under bondage. So there is no such thing. Number 7, I learned this. You know how you always hear, the best day of your life is your wedding day. Like, you hear that. The best day of your life is, the best day you're ever going to be alive is your wedding day. And well, it was wonderful. My wedding day was beautiful. I have learned in my personal experience that that's not true. I have learned that it gets better. That, you know, like, it's not just up to the wedding day and then that's it. Like, your wedding day is a peak, and then like everything after it, all the highs and all the lows, all the stuff that makes your marriage a good marriage, you know, by your standards, you know, don't worry about what everybody else thinks about your marriage, but by your own standards and your spouse's standards. Like the times where you guys were struggling to get along with each other, the times where you broke down and you shared things with each other, like all those things, like the best sex of your life, you know, like all of those things are yet to come. And like, your wedding day isn't the peak of your life. Like, there's better days to come. So whenever I first got married, I was like, that was the best day of my life? Like, really? And I'm here to tell you, in my experience, no, it's not. It's not the best day of your life. There's still better days to come. Number 8, I learned that you will never regret doing the right thing. You'll never regret doing the right thing, but you'll always regret not doing the right thing. And when this one instance, I was traveling. I think my son wasn't even born yet. I don't even know. If he was small, but I don't think so. I think it was before then. It was a long time ago. I was traveling. I have no idea where. I don't even know. I stopped at a Chick-fil-A to use the restroom, because, you know, like Chick-fil-A and some McDonald's, like some places are safe places. Other places are like, it could be up in the air, maybe a clean restroom, may not be. But a Chick-fil-A is a clean restroom, so I stopped. And I was coming out of the restroom, and I could hear the manager. She was a lady, I don't know, in her 40s. She was a manager, and she was like dogging this like 16-17-year-old boy because he was being slow, or he wasn't being productive, or he was like whatever. But like, she wasn't like you know, like saying this is not how you do it. You know, she wasn't like, especially if you know Chick-fil-A, like they have like standards like up to here, you know, like, and I was so young, I was scared, I was naive, I just wasn't sure in myself, and I wanted to tell her, ma'am, I don't think you're supposed to be talking to him that way, you know. But then I was like, you know, like, well, maybe it's not my place. And like, that's the one thing that I should have done that was right, that I didn't do. And to this day, I occasionally think about it and I'm like, I should have, because she was embarrassing him in front of other customers, you know. And I mean, I would have been in a place, a young 16, 17-year-old working at a fast food restaurant with a manager that's kind of like a tyrant, you know. And I just needed, hindsight, I should have said something. Ma'am, you're not supposed to be talking to him that way. Or can I get, you know, a number or something, you know, something to know, to let her know what she's doing was wrong, and to kind of let the kid know, you know, you don't need to put up with that crap, manager or no manager, you know, like she was in the wrong. So again, I learned you'll never regret doing the right thing, but you will regret not doing the right thing. Another thing, okay, this was actually something that I learned this Thanksgiving, like a couple days ago. I learned, when in doubt, get more butter. I went to Costco and I bought one package of the 4-pound butter, and I was like, you know, I still have butter at the house, this should be good. I was like, I think I'll be fine. So come Thanksgiving, tell me why, after baking and everything, I have to send my nephew for 2 boxes of butter, and after I use that up, I have to send somebody else for some more butter. And I'm like, damn, like I knew, like I was in a, even though I was pretty sure I was okay, I was still in a little doubt. You know what, just get more butter. Get more, when in doubt, get more butter. Another thing that I learned was, don't drink out of unknown water bottles. I just want to say I drank piss. I mean, I didn't drink it down my throat, but it was in my mouth because I don't know, I just assumed it was a safe water bottle, and I was like, it was pretty full, you know, who would have, it was opened and it was in my, don't drink out of water bottles that you don't know about. Okay, number 11. Number 11 is, and this is something that I taught my son, and while I was teaching my son, I learned it myself, that there is nobody else that can be a better you. Only you could do what you do. So in a world where we're all trying to be somebody else, or trying to look like somebody else, or trying to act like somebody else, or trying to fit in, you know, you're never going to be as good as they are, or you're never going to be like them. So instead of putting your energy into looking like them and acting like them, spend energy being you, because no one can be you. Only you can do you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's what makes everybody unique. It's why I love you. It's why you love me, because I am me. And so nobody can be you better than you. So that's what I learned when I was, you know, trying to build up my son. Another thing is, yes, I've learned this as a parent. I put down, invest in your child. Invest time in your child. Invest your energy. I know a lot of times it's just easier to pass the buck. You know, it takes energy to be consistent into like feeding into your child's life. But do it, because it's worth it. You have something that God has given you, even for this brief moment in time. So invest money, invest for your finances into your child. You know, put him in a sport. Maybe things are tight, but put them in a sport, or put them in something, you know, like a club at school. Encourage them, build them up, be on their side, listen to them. Like, invest all these things into your child, because they are an extension of you. They are what God has given you. And I find that, I don't know, like, I just hope to God my son is is better than I am. So invest in your child. Invest in your child. Don't just like let the world do what they want with your kid. 13. Good laughs don't come every day, so enjoy them. I know as a kid I used to laugh a lot, and especially now sometimes there's times where I don't really laugh, but my son said something and I busted a gut. I laughed so loud. I laughed loud. I laughed full. I laughed with my whole body almost, and it was awesome. So enjoy the good laughs. Number 14, it is okay to cry. Number 15, I learned that nobody is perfect. And yeah, again, you hear that all the time, but like, and like sometimes being a PTO mom, like you see people and you see the image, you see the whole family go to little performances and whatever, and they appear to be nice, and you see their house and it looks so good, and you know, everything looks great, but nobody's life is perfect. You know, there's things going on behind doors, and it's just like, it's an eye-opener. I mean, my friends like kind of like confide in me, and when they confide in me, I'm just like wow, like I'm listening to them, but I'm just like, wow, like nobody would have known, like nobody would think that this was going on, you know, like wow, like nobody's life is perfect. Everybody has their vice, everybody has their nasty personalities, their insecurities. And so like, and I say that because I am so full of fault. I'm so not a good person, and I'm always like, I need to be better, you know, I need to be good, you know, I need to be like this person, you know, like I really need to have my shit together like that person. And you know, I just learned that like nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect despite what you could swear on. Nobody is perfect. Okay, I think I learned is that Texas really is the biggest state in the continental US. Growing up as a child in the elementary school, you see the big old 50 states of America, you know, all of the United States. And I always thought that our state was bigger because we were in it. You know, I felt like I always just thought that if you were like in Oklahoma, their state was bigger on the map. Or if you were in California, that state would be bigger on the map. I didn't realize that our state really is the biggest. I know Alaska is twice as big as Texas. I understand that. But what I'm saying is like, I think I was in 7th grade when I was like, oh, really? So that is one thing that I did learn. Another thing that I learned is I prefer to bake over cooking. I don't know why. It's just easier for me. It's more calming. It's more relaxing. It's just something that I like to do. Another thing that I learned is it's much better to be alone or to appear lonely than to try to fit in with people that you don't really like or that you have anything in common with. Sometimes it's a little awkward, and I just kind of have to like sit there, but I would much rather be alone than try to fit in with fake ass people. I'm still having to deal with that crap, but I've decided that I'm not gonna let it bother me. So number 20 is or is it 20? I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. It's important to take care of your finances. It's important to take care of your finances. I have a specific way on how I manage my stuff. You know, I receive the money from my husband, and I manage my stuff. I have like a book. I have a cash thing. You know, I manage my finances. I see what's coming. If I know that there's a bill that comes due twice a year, I start putting in money somewhere, and I do it. So however you figure it out, however you find fit, I mean, it's important to take care of your finances. Now, if you are like off the grid and you don't have bills to pay, then that's good for you. But like if you have like water bills and whatever the hell, manage your finances. Like, you can't be like, oh my gosh, the water's due, because you know the water's going to be due. The water's going to be due every month. So, you know, or like if you know it's going to be the summertime, be putting away extra for that. You know, like, don't be the one that's like caught off guard, because you already know. You already know. I learned that a clean house is a happy house. So I am not a clean person, not really. I try my best, but it's not like, I don't have OCD. I'm just, it'll get done. But I have learned that when my house is clean, I feel much better. Everyone's happy. You can walk around barefoot. You can just like be so relaxed. Desiree from, I guess her channel name is Desiree Gonzalez. Her house is always clean. I'm just like, I'm like, dang, she needs to rub off on me. Okay, and what I learned also too was, when in doubt, flip the coin. Look at things from the other side of the mirror. I got into a little kind of a heated conversation with a very loved one, like right here. And so we left with a hug and an I love you, but I was still like bothered, and I'm sure this person was bothered too. So I was driving and I was just like thinking about it in my head, and I was just like, why are they thinking like that? So I stopped and I flipped the coin, and I was like, okay, let me look at it from this way. If my blah blah was doing this, and then I could kind of see, I could definitely see their point. So like, instead of just always thinking that you're right, when in doubt, like, look at the other side of things. You know, like, try to see things the other way, because it'll open your mind. It'll open your mind. 23 or whatever. I've learned that people are crazy. I am a big fan of Investigation Discovery. It's a channel on Dish. I don't know. And I have learned, and I watched the first 48, and I watch the news. I know it's terrible, don't watch it, but I do. And I have learned that people are crazy and they do crazy things. I have learned another thing is that people are good. People are generally really good, and I've learned that a lot through like YouTube. You know, we have a lot in common. I get a glimpse into you guys' life, you know, whether it's a cooking show or homesteading or whatever. I get a glimpse, and we all just want to be happy. We all want to do things that make us happy and make others happy, and people are good. Another thing that I learned is the best hugs are the squeezed hugs. When you hug with both arms, not just like a one-sided, but when you hug with both arms. Now I know, like, I'm a woman, and so like sometimes I don't hug men like that, but like another woman, or like my brothers or my son, you know, like I'll hug with both arms and I'll squeeze tight, because those hugs are the best. Oh, I learned this one too last week. Do not let the cooked spaghetti dry on the wall. So you know how whenever you're trying to test spaghetti, you can kind of throw it on the wall, and if it sticks, it's done, it's ready. So I've learned to do that. I'm just like, and if it falls on the ground, of course I'll pick it up. But this last time when I cooked spaghetti, I threw it on the wall and it stuck. And so I was like, okay, it's time. So I got busy, whatever. So I left it there. And then the next day I was cooking again, and I saw the spaghetti on the wall. It was all dried already. It was all skinny and dehydrated, but it was stuck on the wall. So when I peeled it off, the paint came off. So I'm like, ugh, like, no. So I learned that do not let the cooked spaghetti dry on the wall. I have learned that sometimes you have to be your own best friend. You just gotta do it. Just gotta do it. You know, you be your own best friend. Talk yourself up. You know, don't let yourself get in a rut. I've been super emotional, and it's tough, but you know, if nobody else is gonna be there for you, you be there for you. Okay, I have learned, now even though I've heard this before, I have actually learned this myself. Someone somewhere is always having it worse than you are. I know that's a horrible thing to think about, like, oh, well, what a relief, somebody else. But it's true. It's true. My sister's in the hospital. She's been there for 2 weeks. She's pregnant and whatever, and like she has it pretty bad. But she's in ICU, but she's in ICU for a different reason, for her baby inside of her more than herself. So she's awake and she's conscious and she can see across the hallway, and there's people who are in ICU and they haven't woken up in days. They're just hooked up onto a machine, and she's like, and it's that real eye opener. She's like, you know, I know I cry, I know I feel like I have it worse. She's like, but I have to put things in perspective because someone's always having it worse. You know, sometimes you think you're having a horrible day, you know, you broke a nail, you ran out of gas, you know, and all this stuff, and just imagine someone somewhere got the news today that their child has cancer, you know, someone somewhere, their house burned down, you know, like someone somewhere always has it worse than you are. So just like, don't use that like, oh I'm good, but like just put things in perspective, you know. And I know I have to do that too, but that's what I did learn in my 30 years. Check for toilet paper, especially in public restrooms. Check for toilet paper. Another thing, the last thing that I learned is God is good, God is just, and God is love. So those are the 30 things. I think I missed one. I think let me go ahead and add one in there. Travel. Another thing, travel. See where you can go, whether it's outside of the United States or inside. If you live in California, go visit freaking Georgia. If you live in freaking Louisiana, go visit Maine. Go visit Washington. Go visit. Just travel, open your eyes. Just go to the next state and see what those people are like. So this is now 28 minutes and 59 seconds long. Oh my gosh. So thank you for spending my birthday with me. Let me know what you have learned in life, and leave me a comment. Birthday wishes are always accepted, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.